Hello, everyone. Here we go with lesson 2 of unit 7, adding and subtracting polynomials. You're going to find that this is very similar to the last lesson in that we just basically are putting things in standard form. But what we need to do before we add and subtract polynomials is put both polynomials in standard form first. Okay. And then all you're going to do is identify your like terms and then either add them or subtract them. Okay, so an example here that I'm actually going to do twice. I'm going to show you two different methods. Most people choose the second method, but I'm going to show you two different methods. It's just a matter of how you line things up. So the vertical method, you line them up vertically. The advantage to this is there are less mistakes. That's the vertical method advantage. The advantage to the horizontal method, which right now it's set up as a horizontal. The advantage is it's a little bit faster. And a lot of people see that, and that's why they use it. Now, back to the vertical method. Some tips here: line up your same exponents, your like exponents, and then add or subtract the coefficients based on what you're doing. If you're adding or subtracting. And then the exponents don't change. When you add, the exponents do not change. I see a lot of people add these and then they add the exponents. That is not correct. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set this up vertically. So 4x squared plus 6x plus 7. Nice thing is this one was already in standard form, so I didn't have to move anything around. Second one, 2x squared lines up with 4x squared. Negative 9x lines up with 6x and plus 1. Okay, and now I'm just going to add these up. 4x squared plus 2x squared. A lot of people put 6x to the fourth. It is not x to the fourth. It is 6x squared. You're just adding the numbers in front of x squared. Do the same thing with x's. 6x plus negative 9x is negative 3x. 7 plus 1 is 8. And that's your answer. Okay. The horizontal method, it's already set up, like I said. What I recommend that you do is identify and mark your like terms. Okay. And so what I mean by that is, so 4x squared, I'm going to put a little squiggly line there. I'm going to put a squiggly line under any other x squared term. So there it is. Okay. I'm going to change my symbol now. I'm going to go 6x. I'm going to go double line. So any other x, I'm going to put a double line. Include the sign there. Notice that the underline goes into the negative as well. And then the last one, I'm going to change my symbol again. I'm just going to circle those that are the same. And now I'm just going to add, subtract the coefficients like we did with the other method. And then the exponents don't change again. Okay. So basically you're doing this in your head. 4x squared plus 2x squared. That gives me 6x squared. We already know what the answer is, but 6x plus negative 9x is negative 3x. And that's why the sign is important. A lot of people will mess up and say 6x plus 9x and say 15x. Got to be careful there. 7 plus 1, 8. And there's the same answer we had using the vertical method. Okay. Next one. 4x to the third plus 13x minus 7. One of the disadvantages of the vertical method is what we have here. 9x to the third. I'm going to set it up vertically. 9x to the third. There's no x squared. I'm going to leave a space for that, or I could put a 0x squared there. And you'll see why here in a little bit. Plus 13x minus 7. 5x squared, make sure it lines up with the x squared. If I didn't put that 0x squared there, it wouldn't line up with anything. Negative 3x to the third. 5x squared is positive, so I'm going to put a plus there. There's no x's, so I'm just going to put a 0x plus 4. Okay. These zeros will confuse people. A lot of people won't remember to put those there, and then you'll line up 13x and 5x squared and get the wrong answer. Okay, so just be aware of that. But now I'm going to add these together, 9x to the third plus negative 3x to the third is 6x to the third. 0x squared plus 5x squared is 5x squared. 13x plus 0x is 13x. And negative 7 plus 3 is negative 3, or plus 4 is negative 3. Now this one has 4 terms at the end. That's fine. There you go. All right. That was addition. A little bit easier. Subtraction, a little bit harder. Okay. Except I'm going to give you a helpful trick right away. Okay. The helpful trick is to flip every sign in the second polynomial only. And the problem becomes an addition problem. So you basically are going to be right back to addition if you do this trick. Why does this work? The minus sign is a -1. So you're basically taking that -1 and distributing it into the second polynomial, which is why all the signs flip. So if I take that -1 and distribute that, what I get is nothing changes on the first one. So it's just 2x to the third plus 5x squared minus 3x. But now that -1 gets distributed in, I'm going to go plus, that's -1x to the third, or so negative x to the third. Negative times negative is positive 8x squared. And -1 times 11 is -11. Okay, now I'm going to do the horizontal method since we did the vertical method previously. So I'm going to underline the squiggly line my x to the thirds. There's 2 of them. X squared, I'm going to double line that. Do another x squared. Negative 3x, I'm going to put a circle around that. There's no other x's. A lot of people are going to circle that 11. Don't do that. There's no x with 11. So 11 is going to be its own thing. I'm going to put a triangle around that. Okay, and now I'm just going to combine like terms. 2x to the third plus negative x to the third is positive 1x to the third. 5x squared plus 8x squared is 13x squared. Negative 3x is all by itself, and negative 11 is all by itself. There we go. All right. Do you have to do that trick of flipping the sign? No, you don't. You could just do this subtraction, but I will tell you, you will mess up more than likely. Most people do. I'm going to continue doing the trick because I want to stay consistent. This is find the difference. So I'm going to, nothing changes with the first one. So 7m squared minus 5 plus, and I'm distributing a negative in, so that's negative 3m squared, positive 8m, and negative 2. 7m squared, negative 3m squared. There's an 8m by itself, and then I've got these two that go together. Okay. 7m squared plus negative 3m squared is 4m squared. There's no other, notice I'm going to go the next one down, so m to the first. So there's only one m to the first, it's just 8m. And then negative 5 and negative 2 make negative 7. If I didn't do that trick and flip the sign, here's what people will do. So I'm going to erase this. Do not write this down, please. Just watch at this point. Most people don't have a problem with these. They'll say 4m squared, no problem. 7m squared minus 3m squared is 4m squared. But then they will see that this negative 8m is by itself, and they'll say negative 8m. And then negative 5 minus 2, they'll say negative 3. Okay, they'll think plus 2. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. But we saw on the, before I erased it, that the answer is 4m squared plus 8m minus 7. The mistakes come here and here. That's 0 m's minus negative 8. So 0 minus negative 8 is actually positive. That's hard to remember to do, which is why I tell you that the trick of flipping this to a plus and then changing all the signs is very, very helpful. Okay, hopefully I made that point. Last problem, the perimeter of the figure below is 25c plus 9. Write an expression to represent the last side. So the last side is a question mark here. Perimeter means we add up all the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add up all the sides. 3c minus 4 plus 6c plus 11c plus 7 plus the question mark equals, we have an expression for the perimeter, 25c plus 9. Well, now I'm going to combine like terms on the left side. So 3c, 6c, and 11c. -4 and 7 go together. So 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 11 is 20c. -4 plus 7 is 3. We still have the question mark here. Equals 25c plus 9. So that is equal to that. So there, I'll just write it out again so you can see it. So now I want to get the question mark by itself. If I get the question mark by itself, I've got an expression for the last side. So I'm going to move my 20c to the other side. Notice I'm not solving for c, I'm solving for the question mark. The question mark plus 3 equals 5c plus 9. Subtract 3. I get the question mark equals 5c. 9 minus 3 is 6. So the last side is 5c plus 6. Okay. That's an application of adding and subtracting. You will see this again. Make sure you try these when you see them. Okay. I'm done. Yeah. Good luck on the homework.